Okay, we are live, and once again today we have had technical difficulties with Google, so we are on a different venue. I am coming to you from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I'm Ann White, the host of the People You Should Know show and the founder of the Creating Calm Network, and I'm here with Dorothy LeBlanc, who is coming to us from her cave, and you can actually see it kind of looks like a cave today. But Dorothy, in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Ann. How's the weather in Wisconsin today?
I call it spring. I was sitting outside in 40 degrees. What's interesting in the fall when it's 40 degrees, you've got the fire lit and you're shivering, but in the spring it's delightful. So,
oh, well, my mother used to always tell me, if you don't like the weather in Louisiana, don't worry. Just give it a minute. So yesterday, we had like Noah's Ark flood-like for the last week, and then it dried up and the temperature got to 85.
Ah, so there you have a little bit of swamp thing going on maybe.
Yeah, I guess it's been too long since we've had the swamp thing, so we have 3 more days of that coming.
Okay. Well, you know, I found Dorothy on Facebook, the source of all knowledge, but it's been on my radar as a person we should know. Just an amazing singer, songwriter, musician, touching the heartstrings of so much that we go through, especially as women, but it's broader than that. And Dorothy, how did you get your start in music? You know, because right now you are just playing and sharing your talent with people. Where did it start?
I can remember the day I said, Mama, I need guitar lessons. I remember what song was on the radio. It was James Taylor playing You've Got a Friend. And there's something in guitar terminology called a hammer-on, where you strike a string but make 2 different sounds while that string is still ringing. I'd never noticed that before. And I heard that and I said, that's it. I have to learn guitar. So as a child and on through high school, I played guitar a lot, marriage, children. The guitar went in the closet, but I'd pull it out occasionally. But it was when my oldest son started taking lessons that I got that itch to play again. And I went back to lessons, and as it turns out, I went back to the man who gave me my first lesson.
Oh, amazing.
I know, he's still at it. And yeah, I said, I want to understand what makes a song. I want to understand how to create, because I've always loved poetry, and I just love music. I'm one of these people that if you asked me, well, what year did this happen? I go, oh, wait a minute, that's when Joni Mitchell's Blue album came out. Okay. So see, I always think about things in terms of music. It's always really touched my soul. So that said, I go back to my guitar lessons in my 45 years old, and I get diagnosed with breast cancer. And that kind of, you know,
pulled the rug right out from under you at first, yeah.
I was young. I was younger than my mother when my mother was diagnosed, and it was early detection. That was a blessing, and I kind of just quietly went through the process. You know, there wasn't a lot of energy for me. It was just sort of a focus on getting well. And it was a hard thing going through the radiation with men technicians writing on me and radiating the surgical area. And I could just remember one day just saying, well, God has gotten my attention. I'm going to truly trust that he's going to put me where he wants me to be. Obviously, he needed to get me to stop what I was doing before and maybe take a new direction. Within a week, out of the blue, I had met songwriters and singers and musicians who were so cool. They pulled me out of my house and said, come play an open mic, you know? And it's unbelievable how quickly that unfolded. And I found out early on that children really responded to me in a performance setting because I was older. And I ultimately began my career as a children's musician. And the rest is history. I'm still at it. And that was 2003. and it's 2015, so 12 years.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And so as a children's musician, what did you do?
I began by going to early learning centers all around the Baton Rouge area, and I was the one that would swoop in for 20 minutes a week, sit on the rug, crisscross applesauce with the kids, and do hand and action songs, you know, finger play songs. We would do imagination songs. The kids would help me craft songs. And because I miss Dorothy and her traveling shaky egg band, I would bring shaky eggs or shakers for them to play. So early math. So there was early English, early reading, early math with counting the beats.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. It was fun.
Oh, I can see that. And but then you, I don't know if it was after that or during that, you did some songwriting, and you still are doing songwriting. And part of your breast cancer, I think, inspired some music, some songs. Which songs were those? Because you gave us a list, and they were just great. What was one had poop in the name?
That's it.
And the chicken farmer, you know, there's a song I know. I was listening to that one on YouTube.
There you go. It's called Bird Poop.
Bird poop.
And it was truly based on a bike ride that I took. I was going through my radiation and, you know, wanted to get my strength back. And as I was riding about 6:20 in the morning, out of the blue, a bird pooped on my arm. And I thought, ooh, and I wiped it off and I kept riding because I just started.
Mm-hmm.
And then the irony sort of dawned on me. It's like, cancer is a whole lot like bird poop because, you know, it comes to you out of the blue. Oh, well, just keep moving because everything is going to be fine. And the very end of this song is the epiphany that I learned. And here it goes. When God made this earth, he made plenty of birds. And where there are birds, there are sure to be turds. It's all part of the general scheme of things. If there were no birds, they wouldn't go splat. But doesn't the splat make me appreciate that? They wake in the morning and sing and sing and sing. Nah, a little bird poop ain't going to bother me. So that's it.
See, this is why she is a person you should know. You can find out more about her, too, just as you want to take notes on this, her website, which is DorothyLeBlanc.com, right?
Yep, that's it.
And, you know, there's music there, and that song I found, I went right to YouTube and found that. Probably I could find it through your website, too, though, right?
Yes, there are links to my YouTube channel, and, yeah, I think, you know, it might be the only song on YouTube called Bird Poop. I'm not going to, don't quote me on that. My mind has always worked in really out there ways, and I think as a songwriter, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because your songs have quite a range. So your inspiration, what would you say your inspiration is for your song besides getting pooped on by a bird when you're on your bicycle?
Well, for instance, I'm a mother and my 2 sons are grown. And when my first child left home to go to college, I just remember that sense of, wait, nobody prepared me for this. Did I do everything I was supposed to do? How in the world am I going to let go of you? Can I just have another week? Because there's so much more I need to tell you. And I wrote a song called Wander, and it's about letting go. In any relationship, in any, but that particular incident with both of my children, that really solidified that for me.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to a lot of different relationships and really speaks to everybody differently. And I like that.
Yeah, that's a
I'm not good at letting go. And another thing that has always inspired me, I am a happy person, okay? I really am, and I'm a positive person. But one of the crosses that I've really borne as an adult woman after breast cancer has been depression. And so I try really hard to come to grips with those triggers that that pushed me to depression. And I meditate on it a whole lot because I feel like it's a gift for me if I can share what I've learned. That's it. And I came up with the idea that I could fight the depression if I could keep a dream in my sight. If I could say, okay, maybe today's not that great, but look what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I set a goal for myself. I am going to play my original music in every state of the United States.
That's right. And that's where you and I connected, because I said, when you get up to Sheboygan, you've got a couch. So
I am so ready.
Someday Wisconsin will meet Dorothy LeBlanc.
There you go. But I came up with a song from that called Wake Up and Dream. Get it? Wake up and dream. So I think it's important to have a dream. For me, with depression potential, I got to keep dreaming. For people maybe who have addiction problems or eating disorders, you've got to have a dream. You've got to be able to look past that hole that you're in so that you'll have something to shoot for to get out of there, you know? And that's what I believe. I believe that that's what inspires other people. I believe that's what personally empowers people, mm-hmm. when they can reach for something that's more positive.
Right. Dorothy, can I ask you how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 57.
Okay, and I'm 65, and one of the things that I think about dreams is when women get, and maybe older than you, but around my age, we've done it. We've done it, but many of us still need to, okay, what's next? And exactly. That's where the dream comes in, because so often we want to raise our families, we want to have a career, we want to do this, and then when we've done it, we're still vital. We're still vibrant. What's next? So that's another area where that dream comes in, and that's why I loved when you said your dream was to play guitar and sing your songs in all 50 states, and that's one of the things I think is an inspiration for more mature women is, where is that dream? How do you find that dream? So I really resonated when you said that. That was the line I think that really popped for me.
Don't expect to see me in Wisconsin in the winter, but
yeah,
you'll see me. But I'm on it. I've already played in Georgia, of course, Louisiana. I got to play when I visited my brother in Indianapolis. That was really cool. Mm-hmm. It's so neat to go somewhere with what I've written where people have never heard it before. Yeah. You know, it's very exciting. And I played a bunch in Texas, but I figured Texas is so big. Yeah. I have to play a bunch there, right?
Yeah, they need Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, you also play with for people who have Alzheimer's. Is that correct? You do volunteer, or you're there, or tell us about your work with the Alzheimer's patients.
I started as a volunteer at a local place called Charlie's Place in Baton Rouge, mm-hmm. and it's with the Alzheimer's Society, and they have a respite center from 9 to 2, 9 to 3, every day, Monday through Friday, so that caregivers can bring their loved one who has Alzheimer's mm-hmm. to do activities that stimulate the mind and afford them an opportunity to socialize. Mm-hmm. It's time for them to feel empowered and capable around other people who also have the same condition. There's a camaraderie there among all the clients who attend on Mondays when I go. You can see it. Mm-hmm. And I'm the music person from 12:40-ish until 1:15, and I made a point to learn the songs that they would have known in their youth. It would make no sense to do music that they had never heard before. Mm-hmm. So you'd be surprised. That long-term memory is there, and it's empowering for them to say, oh, I could do this. Yeah. You know, music can turn your day around.
Yeah, yeah. And music can kind of get in. I used to be a trauma chaplain, And although I can't sing, I wouldn't say I could, if someone is like in a nonverbal state, say, if you
Yes,
could kind of get in with music, you can penetrate something in the brain more than words. So I'm not a scholar to
absolutely.
know how that works, but I do know music can cut through a lot of brain fog in some wonderful way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see it. And from there, I've started doing, I do contract work at some of the places where I go. And there are, self-contained Alzheimer's centers and units within centers. And I go in there and do a 45-minute sing-along performance. And you know what? I found my gift, I think. I found it because I can put myself in a living room setting with Alzheimer patients in their retirement community home and really engage the audience. And it's wonderful. Gosh, this energy that can be so obnoxious to some people, well, it serves a purpose. I actually had one of them. They all love my energy. They go, "Oh, good, she's here."
Yeah, but who wouldn't love your energy? You're just
But there was one man in the audience who had been a doctor in his profession, and I always, after a performance, put my guitar down and shake everybody's hand, and thank you for singing with me. And I get to this one man, and he said, "I used to be a doctor. Have you had your thyroid checked lately?" I just loved it. I loved it. I said, "Ooh, yes, this is just how I am." But I don't know. It's God, what a blessing to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
just
such a gift you have. Yeah.
it's it. I know that I make a difference in the lives of those seniors, but they make a difference for me. They keep me getting up in the morning, excited to go back and learn more songs from the 40s. And Alzheimer patients are getting younger and younger, especially the ones who are early diagnosed. I'm having to start perform songs in the late 50s and the 60s, so I'm having to get my rock and roll on.
Yeah.
So it's
I
fun.
was motivated too by what the World War songs, or right after that generation when they were trying to uplift the country. That was another motivation for you, or inspiration for you.
Oh my gosh, yes. My mother and I, she was terminal for a couple of years before she died.
Mm-hmm.
And morphine did nothing for her. But if I brought Willie Nelson's CDs of Stardust and Moonlight Becomes You when I visited her, all these stories would come out as she listened to the music, and she never once asked for morphine as long as the music was playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt, wow, but she would tell me stories of how she coped after my dad shipped out. And she really loved the song Accentuate the Positive. It was a #1 hit during the World War II era.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that a song like that, Accentuate the Positive, Eliminate the Negative, was so popular in our country at that time, to me speaks volumes about not only the character of my mother's generation and of that generation, but the writers knew how important it was to offer people positivity. They knew that. And when you listen to things that give you hope, chances are you're going to feel hopeful more than if all you do is listen to very depressing things. So when I write, I try really hard to affix my name and my energy to things that will do good.
Mm-hmm.
Would maybe, I'm not saying I never write a sad song, because I do, but they typically have a purpose. I just try to connect in a positive way with people that hear my music.
Yeah, and you sure do. Tell us about your open mic experiences. So, I'm one of those, believe it or not, relatively shy people, and yet you just go up and go to open mics and start singing your heart out. How do you know, how do you even do that? What happens?
Well, I've learned a couple. I've learned a couple of things. Was I ever really bad at it? Oh my gosh, yes. I weathered watching people get up and leave the room when I performed. Now, that said, I think as I've gotten more comfortable with the guitar in my hand and more comfortable once I found my voice, if that makes sense. Once I really felt like, okay, I don't sing like everybody else, but this is how I sing and this is how I feel my songs. Then I had more confidence. And I'm going to tell you something. If you step up to the microphone with a cheat sheet so that if you forget the words, you can look down, that does harm because you doubt yourself. So I think it's just sort of, for somebody who's not a daredevil, and I'm not, that's the most daredevil-y thing I do. And I figure, okay, well, if I'm no good, it's only a few songs and it's just a blip on the screen. So I'll do better next time. You know, I love it. I love to connect. I love to get there not knowing what songs I'm going to play when it's my turn because I want to feel the room. And if I see a lot of women in their 50s or 60s, I might do Moving On and I might do Bird Poop. But if I'm in a room with a bunch of men, I'm probably not going to open with Bird Poop.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
You know, so it's very, gosh, I guess I got that from my dad. He was a good speaker and he didn't even need a speech in front of him. He just did it. And I have no rhyme or reason for how that happens, but I feel grateful.
And I bet you're getting quite a following as well. As more and more people are putting you on their radar screen, you are a breath of fresh air and a light to the world.
Well, thank you. I feel like I've got a lot more work to do, but I think setting a goal to get out there to the different states is going to keep me going. And you'd be surprised how many people, when I do Bird Poop, how many people come up to me after and say, I was just diagnosed. Thank you. You know, you made me laugh. And she'd say, or a man will say, my wife was diagnosed. Tell me how she can listen to this song, you know. And I send them to YouTube.
And so, you have CDs that are available for people who want to hear your music. Again, on Dorothy LeBlanc, LeBlanc.com. Tell us what's there. What can they find when they go there?
Okay. I must say that I've been, what's the word that I want to use? Very productive, plentiful.
Prolific.
Thank you. I knew it started with P-R-O.
You got it.
See, between the two of us, we're good.
We got it.
I started as a children's musician, and I have 3 children's song CDs. One of them is a folk and bluegrass CD called, are you ready for this? Bluegrass. Everybody knows the grass is green. And then the second one was me playing with an alternative rock band, songs that I wrote. And it's called Rockin' Those Blues Away. And the third one is my first jazz project. And it's a lullaby CD called Spending the Day with Grandma.
Oh,
very sweet. And I have 3 products for the memories and song, the older adults who are looking to relive music of their youth. One of them is a DVD, and it's called Memories and Song. And then I have 2 CDs for playing in the car. One of them sort of parlor room music, you know, Shine On Harvest Moon, and I Found My Thrill on Blueberry Hill. And then I have another Memories and Song CD that's more night on the town songs, Summertime and real jazzy, you know, don't get around much anymore type things. I also have 4 songwriter CDs. See, I told you thank you for the word, prolific. 4 songwriter CDs that start with my early writings, and frankly, I have another one that I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with. I have a 5th one ready to, people don't buy CDs anymore, you know, so I'm trying to decide how I'm going to release the tunes.
Oh, like maybe an MP3 download or something.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Yes. So there are sneaky ways you can do that. You know, you don't have to have the physical CD. So, yeah. So, I think I'm using my blog a lot more than I have to link my songs to the backstory for the songs. So I think that's going to help too.
And your blog, can they find that right on your website?
Yes. Good. There are links to that. It says just click on here to see the backstory to these songs on the blog. Easy
peasy. You are absolutely delightful, and you can see, anybody who's watching, why Dorothy LeBlanc is people you should know. The people
you are so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, Anne, you are unbelievably inspiring to me, and I love reading your posts on Facebook and watching your shows, because to me, you know, it's about everyday real life. Don't you think that in the world, mostly people are great? Mostly people are inspiring.
Yeah.
I'm a little uncomfortable that you thought that I was inspiring enough, because I'm nothing compared to a lot of the people that I know, but I'm honored, and
you
maybe somebody out there needed to hear something I said, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
You are a light. And tell us about your cave before we sign. What is that cave you're in there, girl?
Well,
every woman needs a room of their own. I know that.
Oh, this is brand new, brand spanking new. My oldest son was living in this as a garage apartment, and he moved to New Orleans. And instead of feeling blue and down in the dumps about, letting go, I said, okay, it's time for me to repurpose this room. I love to sew. I love to paint. I love to play my music. I practice a lot. So I've turned this into my Dorothy space. And back here, this whole wall has been insulated. I hope one day to be able to do some recording in here and not hear the street noise. Okay. It's kind of quiet, huh? You haven't heard sirens and all that, have you?
No.
There you go. Let's just hope my dogs don't start barking.
What kind of dogs do you have?
My husband has a yellow lab called Molly, his duck hunting dog. And my youngest son has a basset hound named Shirley Bassett, named after the jazz singer.
Yeah.
Is that great?
Yeah.
My oldest son just moved to New Orleans, and he brought his chocolate lab. Guess what his name is?
I can't even begin.
Superfly. Superfly. So anyway, yeah, this is a beautiful space. I had a songwriter circle in here last night, and it was great. It was great. The energy felt good, and it was wonderful. It's my little space.
Yeah, keep dreaming and get it to every one of those states. And you can follow her on Facebook. You now know her website. And I've asked Dorothy if I can interview her one more time on an audio, or we can play some of her music too. But you don't have to wait for that interview. You can go to her website, DorothyLeBlanc.com, and you can listen to some of the music and find links and just play and inspire yourself by listening to her songs, or just even her energy. Dorothy, you have such wonderful energy. So go out and just kick it up this afternoon.
I've got 2 gigs. I have coffee, don't worry.
Yeah, so what are your 2 gigs?
I'm going to an assisted living center, and I do 30 minutes in the Alzheimer unit and 30 minutes downstairs. Oh, and then I'm going to Women's Hospital in Baton Rouge, and a friend and I are going to do music therapy for the patients. Sometimes we get to go in the chemo room. I love that. And perform a song for them, you know.
You know, your music, I'm sure, I know is so uplifting, but just having you go in and smile at them would be enough to brighten your day. So
Aw, you're sweet.
Go in and smile if you left your guitar in the car or something.
You know what? Music does for me what I think music therapy is supposed to do. It puts me in a whole nother place. And so doesn't matter what my mood is, because I'm ready to get in there and do it, you know, because I know it's going to be good for everybody.
It
So,
sure is. So I'm going to let you get going, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the People You Should Know show. And we're going to see more of Dorothy LeBlanc. I'll tell you that. So take care, and you can find us on the creatingcalmnetwork.com. And because I also have the chicken show, I like to say it's all clucking good. Take care. Bye-bye.